ARTlanta gallery. We are talking about investment in Southwest Atlanta. When Mr. Hooker found you, Tyree, did he approach you and say, man, I have this great opportunity? How did that happen?
I mean, he said, like, we have this pristine space, and it's, we look out and we see Tyler Perry's property, and it's really clean. We need to bring some kind of cutting edge art stuff to this area. What can you do? Like, do you think that you can live up to this task and present programming and bring arts into this community? And when I walked around it, he actually walked me through the whole 145 acres the first time I met him.
Wow.
In a suit. And I remember him sweating hard and profusely. And from that moment, I was like, he's dedicated. And to have a developer come to you this early in the game, especially with art, we're usually the ones that come in, fix up the mess ups. But to have a developer come in there early and say, we want to base our development around that was super important to me and to the art community. And so coming in there and the support that we continuously get from them for our programming is crazy. Like, we just did the ARTlanta fair there last year, and we had 5,000 people come.
5,000?
5,000 people. We had Ferris wheels, 27 rides. I had 2 Basquiat pieces shipped from New York here in the middle of Southwest Atlanta. And that's the kind of stuff that we have an opportunity to do there. The program is important because, like he said, the future is in 2021, 2022, but the community wants to know, what can we do now? And that's what programming is, and that's why programming is important.
Tremendous. Tremendous. What did you see in Tyree Smith, Mr. Hooker?
Well, I visited him in his gallery in his previous location, and I saw just amazing art, but more so I saw a leader. I saw someone who people believed in, who people would follow, who understood how these things work. And so what I realized in Tyree, he had the art mind and the business mind, and that could make a strong partnership. So I was so excited that he came down and was willing to take a good look at it, because he had a good thing where he was.
Right.
And so we had to work really hard over time to figure out how to get him into the property, into the right place. Trial and error, a couple of different buildings. I had to seek support of my board. My board's chaired by your friend Cassius Butts.
Cassius Butts, my good friend. Yes.
Yes. And so the board of directors, we needed them to be on board, and they stepped in and created a public arts advisory council to have bring a bunch of artists together to work with Tyree to help advance the cause of public art on the property. So it's been a good thing from a momentum standpoint. But Tyree was talking about bringing people to Fort Mac. We are now ready for this story to be told, because we've been planning for years. But thanks to the Gulch deal, we now are ready to fund the public infrastructure so we can get started with the redevelopment. See, before the Gulch deal, the schools weren't in our tax allocation district.
That's right.
And you couldn't use it to do issue bonds. Now the schools are in there. So we're trying to let folks know, hey, start keeping an eye on us now. Come down and see what Tyree and them is doing, and then look around for other opportunity while you're there.
There are some people who are still very, very sour about the Gulch deal. Some people support it, some people did not. However, in this moment, the Gulch deal can be used to benefit a greater service.
Absolutely. And we have to thank our council member Joy Shepard for that. We've been working for a long time to figure out how to bring APS into the Campbellton Road TAD. And she was pounding on the table saying, what about Fort Mac during the Gulch deal? And ultimately that prevailed, and not only the Campbellton Road TAD, but the 3 other TADs the schools weren't in. The schools are in them now. And that's going to prompt development in other places around the city. So it's hard work.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I say something often on CBS 46. There is no finality in politics. And if you start thinking politics has some level of finality, you will miss the next shift. And even though there are people who oppose the Gulch, and I think for legitimate reasons, right now, if you say, I'm not going to participate, or I refuse to listen to what's happening at Fort Mac because of the Gulch connection, you miss the whole move. You playing checkers, they playing chess.
That's right.
They moving with the pieces.
That's right.
You don't win every move.
Right.
But you have to keep your mind focused on the ultimate game that is politics. Who gets the money and how it's allocated.
Man, you know this stuff well.
Yeah.
And that's important. That's another thing that we're doing at Fort Mac is, especially with the arts, is letting these artists know that where the money is and how to get to it. Because Fort Mac, we wanted to become a place where it's my Fort Mac. Even if you don't live there, you can come there for all the resources that you need.
Yeah.
Financial literacy classes, art lessons. That's the kind of stuff that I'm planning on trying to bring to Fort McPherson with Brian's help.
You guys are being very intentional. I know Cassius Butts. I trust him emphatically. I know you. Trust you emphatically. The right people are providing leadership for Fort Mac development. And I'm thankful to God that people like you are doing this, because I know you will be intentional about things like affordability,
right,
reflection of the actual community. How are you looking to ensure that these protocols you put in place are adhered to?
Well, that's one of the benefits of owning the land.
Mm-hmm.
You can, in your transactions, you can create ongoing provisions. We were just talking off the air a minute ago about a restaurant that's on a parkland in Atlanta that the city leases the land to, and they require that restaurant to always serve a hamburger, meaning that restaurant couldn't just go white tablecloth and exclude people. It always has to have something on its menu that is affordable, all right? And even beyond just reducing the cost of things, we have to be intentional about increasing people's earning potential. So we have been supported by the U.S. Department of Commerce Economic Development Administration with a local match from the Fulton County government to build the Fort Mac JAC, Jobs and Career Center, on the property. We're going to get started on construction of that probably late this year, and it's going to be a workforce development center that's aimed at the people in our community. You need a job, come here. We're going to help plug you in to the special training programs. We're going to help connect you with educational programs you might need. And so we're not only trying to reduce the cost of living and transportation and food, but we're trying to give people opportunities to increase their income as well, even our artists.
How do you feel to be part of this, Ryan?
It's hard.
Yeah.
But it's a mission. You know, remember the Blues Brothers, I'm on a mission from God.
Yeah.
When I got down to the property, I thought, okay, you know, 2 Chronicles 7:14, heal the land.
Mm-hmm.
God said, no. I want you to build something that is good news to people of all incomes in the surrounding area. Tyree said it, my Fort Mac. I want somebody, I didn't want an 8th grader walking by Fort Mac to see the brand new school we put on there and not be able to go there.
Right.
I didn't want a young gangbanger who's looking to turn his life around to look at Fort Mac and say, that's not for me, that's for rich white people. Mm-hmm. We're building a place for all, and that's the mission that I'm on there. And so that mission, that gives you energy, you know, to keep on fighting the good fight.
Very well said. And you know I'm with you 100%. Anything you need, all you have to do is ask.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
How can people connect?
I'm gonna let Tyree answer that.
I mean, well, for us right now, one of the quickest ways to do it is we have the Atlanta Opera coming to Fort McPherson, to our Space to Stay Gallery this Saturday, 11 a.m. to perform The Barber of Seville. So now the tickets are all gone, but if you follow Brian Hooker FM on IG or Twitter, we'll be giving away 6 tickets to people. You just got to come to Fort Mac today and pick them up. But we're all over social media, Fort Mac LRA, Brian Hooker FM, Tyree Smith, ARTlanta Gallery. You can follow us on social media. But if you want a ticket to the opera.
And that's Brian with an I, BRIAN HOOKER FM. So at Brian Hooker FM, we want to get you those tickets.
Yes, sir. And I'm Tyree Smith, TYREE Smith, RSC. And that's, you'll find me everywhere like that.
All right. Man, I appreciate both of you brothers, man.
But thanks for having me.
Appreciate you,
Thank you, man. Y'all were doing the work of God. All right. We'll talk soon.
All right.
Good morning. Push more T.I. on, man.
Yes. News and Talk, 1380 WAOK.